A look at what the odds makers expect of some notable debutants. Cam Ward slated just north of 3,200 passing yards. Anything in that neighborhood would be the most by a Titan since Tannehill back in 21. Ashton Genty, meantime, looking at a comma, but barely. Bucky Irving, the only rook to go for 1,000+ last season on the ground. Travis Hunter, going to be tough to handicap with usage, his biggest question. And Ryan Wilson's favorite, Tet McMillan, got to get you to 801. Adam Thielen led that franchise with just 615 receiving yards last season. And if you had Ryan Wilson, our draft expert, over 50.5 mock drafts, you can cash those tickets as well. Ryan, it's great to see you. We've assessed these prospects from just about every angle we can, but let's project them now as pros. Cam Ward, we'd assume, would be the Week 1 starter in Tennessee. Was the first rookie from the class of 25 to make a start outside of Cam Ward?
So, Joe, good to see you too, buddy. 12 quarterbacks were drafted in this class, which is bonkers nuts. 8 of them came on day 3. But I'm going to go with the 40th overall pick, QB3, as the draft unfolded. And Tyler Shuck, who is, I believe you went to high school with. That's an old joke. He'll be 26 in the fall when the season starts. And here's the other thing, why it makes the most sense. Jackson Dart, QB2, drafted 25th overall. He almost certainly won't play until October. Best case scenario, it feels like, because of all the depth in front of him. But in New Orleans, you have Derek Carr. What's up with his shoulder? We don't quite yet know. And, of course, they have my guy Spencer Rattler and Jake Kaner, quarterbacks drafted in the 2 previous drafts, but those are day 3 guys, and there very well may not be a plan to move forward with them. Kellen Moore is the new head coach in town. He obviously had a lot to do with drafting Tyler Shuck. And when you build a quarterback on Madden, it looks like Tyler Shuck, 6'4", 215, 220, ran in the 4.6, has a huge arm. He's been in college a long time. I'm hesitating because he hasn't played a lot of ball. 7 years in college, 3 different schools, but only started last year for Louisville. A lot to like, but the footwork needs some work. He was the victim of 24 drops by his Louisville wide receivers, so you can't hold that on him. But I think if you're talking about a quarterback that has the best chance to play as a rookie not named Cam Ward, I'm going to go with Mr. Shuck.
Yeah, I think the thought process there is sound. Just least hurdles to get over to see a start. The Saints look like they're almost hurdle-less. Let's keep this thing rolling here because Cleveland, their active quarterback room currently boasts 216 career starts, Ryan. 191 of them belong to January Joe Flacco, that is. They had a signal caller in the 3rd and then in the 5th. Do you see both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders making starts this season, and who goes first?
Right, so let's do the math here in that 5 QB room. Deshaun Watson may have played his last snap in Cleveland. Our Jonathan Jones has talked about that previously. Kenny Pickett, I don't know if Kenny Pickett's going to be in the roster when the season starts. If you're ranking these quarterbacks, he might be QB4 in terms of expected productivity 2 or 3 years from now. Joe Flacco could be the favorite on day 1, but again, he's 40 years old. Is it fair to ask a 40-year-old to play 18 weeks in the NFL and expect to stay healthy? So that brings us to Dillon Gabriel, 3rd-round pick, Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round pick. And maybe this is a case that it's not as bad as it first seemed, that maybe you can't have enough QBs on the roster, especially guys with something to prove. And Shedeur feels like he's in a different mindset than he was certainly a week ago. And Dillon Gabriel's always had that mindset as a 5'10 quarterback who no one's ever believed in. He just keeps making plays stop after stop. So I do think there's a situation where we can see both these young players start. And we've seen it in the past, Joe, Cleveland and elsewhere, where a young quarterback comes in, struggles, and they replace him with another young quarterback. C.J. Kaner and Spencer Rattler with the aforementioned Saints last season. So, yeah, I think this happens. And it'll be fun, something different for the Cleveland Browns.
Something different for the Cleveland Browns, just rolling out a different quarterback each and every week. That's more the same from where I'm sitting. All right, let's roll to the Jags here because they take a big swing, moving up to 2 despite sweeping needs everywhere. But a big move here by the young GM. Now they've got to figure out how to strike the right balance with Travis Hunter. You've got an offensive-minded head coach, yes, but one of the worst pass defenses in the league a year ago. Does Hunter see more snaps in his rookie season as a receiver or a DB?
I joked about Tyler Shuck being the same age as you. James Gladstone is literally your age. He is in his sub-mid-30s guy who is now making these decisions, and he ain't afraid by all appearances. He's from the Les Snead tree of go ahead and trade picks to get players you want. Travis Hunter's that guy. All that said, you don't trade a future first-round pick to go from 5 to 1 to take a cornerback. You take him to play wide receiver. We saw the graphic coming in, the odds of him catching 700 passes, I believe, behind some guy named Tet McMillan. We shall see. But, right, you're getting help for Trevor Lawrence. And that help is in the form of not pick sixes, but in running past everyone like you're still in the Big 12 and playing for Colorado. The great news, and there were a lot of dudes on that wide receiver room in Colorado, but there were no Brian Thomas Jr. So that's who is going to be helping Travis Hunter get open by playing on the other side. And then you have Trevor Lawrence, hopefully finally feeling like the franchise quarterback that the Jacksonville Jaguars envisioned. He's battled injuries and, Urban Meyer, if we're being honest. So I think Travis Hunter is going to get more snaps on offense, at least early on, and let him do those offensive things for you. And by the way, this doesn't factor into the graphic, but he can be used on special teams as well as a dangerous return man.
Yeah, not enough tick for him already. Let's get him out there returning punts. He is captivating. He is wiry. He is electric. Every time he touches that football or finds himself around it, the more the better here for Travis Hunter. We'll just see how that usage catches up with him now with a full 18-week schedule. Ashton Jeanty became the highest drafted running back since Saquon on Thursday night. Barkley ran for 13.07 his rookie year, for those keeping track at home. Does Jeanty break the 1,000-yard mark behind a Raider line that didn't have a 500-yard rusher last season, Ryan?
I think they do. So new head coach Pete Carroll, new offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly, and you have a ton of weapons. There's a lot of upgrades. You mentioned the offensive line. I think it'll be better. Hope isn't a plan, as we like to say, but Brock Bowers is a plan. Geno Smith is a plan. They got a ton of dudes at wide receiver. My guy Jack Besh is a plan. So I think they're moving in the right direction. And Ashton Jeanty is also part of that plan. I think we saw in that graphic that the odds are for him to get over 1,000 yards by just a smidge. I think that happens. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I think maybe it comes down to week 16, week 17, just because you don't want to overuse him. But also worth noting, Joe, he didn't catch a ton of passes last year. In 2023, he was a huge part of that pass offense. So that's another way to get those yards. Those would be all-purpose yards, of course, not rush yards. But I think he's going to have over 1,000 rush yards. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, we're talking about 350 to 400 yards, all-purpose yards as well, on a team that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, but still not going to win the division with the Chiefs staring him in the face. Yeah,
I like him over the 1K, but maybe we do wait and shop for a number when we go receiving, plus rushing for Ashton Jeanty. Let's take a look at some odds here for the offensive rookie of the year, and it's going to be an interesting list when you factor in Travis Hunter being perhaps a factor on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Ashton Jeanty is our favorite at plus 270. Cam Ward, the likely day one starter in Tennessee, next favorite, with Travis Hunter coming in at 7.5 to 1. So Vegas also skewing towards the offensive side of the ball. Defensively is another story, and Abdul Carter is your shortest number. To find Travis Hunter, you don't have to go much further there at 10 to 1. Ryan Wilson, I need your pick for offensive and defensive rookie of the year. And yes, you can say Travis Hunter is both.
I'm giggling, Joe, because I'm nothing if not predictable. I'm going chalk. I went with Jesse and Abdul Carter because they were staring me in the face. Don't want to overthink it. And, you say, well, the odds for player X and Y are plus 2,000. Yeah, you're just throwing money away. Those guys are going to win it. Ashton Jeanty's going to win it on offense, and Abdul Carter has a great chance to win it on defense, in part because he's awesome, also in part because he's going to be in a defense that includes Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Sexy Dexy Lawrence. And oh, by the way, you can't double team Abdul Carter, so he just get home and gets a helpless right tackle 20 snaps a game. So, yes, sign me up for that. And it also help out the offense, where it currently includes Russ and Jameis and Jackson Dart and Tommy Cutlets. I want to sell him short. But the offense may not be where it needs to be early on. The defense will help with that. That means more opportunities for Abdul Carter. And, of course, we talked about why Jeanty's going to be good, and I think that doesn't change. If you want a dark horse on the opposite side of the ball, maybe Omari Hampton for Denver, even Trey Henderson for the Patriots. But, again, running back seems like a popular choice because they can come in and contribute right away. But Ashton Jeanty is just so special. It's hard for me not to give him the nod right now.
Yeah, history tells us you don't have to go too far down that board. It was Jayden Daniels, the second overall pick a year ago, and Jared Verse on the defensive side of the ball. Don't overthink it. Ryan Wilson, we appreciate your thoughts as always.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là màu kem. Em xin tự giới thiệu, em là công tử Bạc Liêu, giàu nhất trong vùng ra